Here we go. It's July 28th. It's a beautiful day in Milwaukee. Wild day of events yesterday. Real quick, I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention this. If those of you who have family in the Appleton, Neenah, Menasha area and was impacted by yesterday's events, uh, if you don't know and weren't paying attention, or you weren't outside at 2 o'clock when it looked like 10 o'clock, there was a big tornado that ripped through central Wisconsin. But if you have anybody that was impacted by it and need a little help, hit me up. Totally, as we've done in the past, totally confidential between us. But it was wild. And so I just want to make sure if you need a little support or you have family members that need support, hit me up. We're happy to do it. Sound good? Sweet. Today's going to be quick hitting, hopefully, actually, a rather short meeting. I always say if we don't have content, I'm not here to fill time. I'm here to actually move you on with your time, to respect your time. But there's a few things that I've been thinking about lately as it relates to your brand identity, how you deliver your brand. And then also, I'm going to share with you a thought that someone shared with me last week that made me stop and think. And I thought it was a really appropriate time to do it, seeing that we're sitting here on July 28th, and a lot of us feel like, whew, right? I'll share with you that thought, and we'll get you on your day. Sound good? Beautiful. One thing I did want to highlight too is from mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives. I got to give a shout out to the team of Wooten, Bella, and Courtney for those. If you are one of the 600 people last week who attended Family Day, it was kind of just our way of helping you bring your families together if you attended, as a way to showcase our culture, our community, who you work with, and provide good energy and do something that isn't always real estate focused or whatever that might be. And so I wanted to highlight what that looked like for those that were in attendance or those that weren't able to make it. We'll go back to that. One sec. So it was a fun day, and it was fun to get people together. It was fun to have people's families together, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. For those that were able to attend, we're going to bring it back again next year. I always love that. Like the way I view it is that even though I have a lot of family that works here, but my kids get to see who it is that I get to work with and have those kids interact. And I think it's an important part of who it is and how we build our sense of community. So I wanted to share that with the group. It's just a little bit of a recap and thank our team for helping pull that together, because I thought it was a great day of community and a great way of showcasing Havre, a word I use often. One other thing I wanted to highlight, just as a heads up, we're not going to have a team meeting next week. Transparently, I did this last year in August, and I actually didn't know I needed it until I did it, but we're just going to do a midsummer break of a week off. It just allows me to catch my breath a little bit in terms of content. I think about this meeting 7 days in advance, and I just want you to know that I'm going to take a break next week. So you can plan accordingly, and I won't drop it on you the morning of, because I'm trying to get better at planning ahead, but just want you to know that I'm also practicing what I preach, and when I feel like I need a break on a Tuesday, I'm like, you know what? We're just going to punt. So we're going to punt next week. Sound good? All right, sweet. With that, we're going to jump into all these some very important compliance updates for you. Steph's going to jump on, but I want to provide some context. In the last 2 weeks, we have had 11 incidences where people have impersonated your email or a title company's email to try and send wire instructions to your clients. If you don't think it's happening, it's happening. The incidence has increased as of late. We don't have a finger or a pulse on why that's happening, and we don't have a consistency as to where it's happening. This is across multiple title companies. This is across multiple agents. I would always tell you if you think something is suspicious, all you got to do is look at the drop down of where the email came from and verify the email with a lot of other things that Steph's going to touch on. But I wanted to make sure that we're dialing into this because last week we had someone try and send $75,000 to the wrong bank account. We had somebody else send $30,000 to the wrong bank account. Fortunately, of the 11 incidents of fake wire fraud impersonation, we have not lost any money, and nor have we had any clients who have sent money to the wrong accounts. Here's the challenge of it. If you have a client that sends money to the wrong accounts, the ability to recover is very, very small. Because what happens is they have you send it to a JP Morgan or a Wells Fargo or a big bank's account. As soon as that money is in, they are pulling that money to an offshore account that no one has access to and you can't touch it. But the rate of incidents in which this is happening is actually somewhat alarming. And so we wanted to touch on it this morning. And Steph's going to jump on to share some best practices for you to make sure that you're paying attention and that we are protecting ourselves and your clients. Steph?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Yeah, I think we try and touch on this at least once a quarter. Just need to re-remind the group. But first off, the biggest key here is educating our clients on this and making them aware of its prevalency. And there are just multiple checkpoints that we are able to do this and remind ourselves to remind them. So this is on our KW disclosure. This warning is on our buyer agency contracts. This warning is on our offer to purchases. This warning is on our listing contracts. So there should be no excuse for us not to be able to hit our clients right at the get-go with this warning on wire fraud. And again, Charlie just went over it already, but criminals are hacking or impersonating emails, and they're hacking into our emails and sending fake wiring instructions. They're professional in appearance and obviously, again, created to steal our money. So we just have to be hyper vigilant on it. And fake wiring instructions may even be mistakenly forwarded to you by a legitimate source. So if a title company or if someone sends me something and I send it off thinking I came from a legitimate source, then it's real easy to pass along fake instructions. So red flags around this. Next slide, Charlie. You will never receive wiring instructions directly from a title company. These are always going to come through a third-party secured site. And realtors will never send wiring instructions. We are never going to be communicating wiring instructions to our clients. A title company will never ask us to forward wiring instructions. Where this is mostly happening as well is that a client will receive a email with the instruction that with the direction that the wiring instructions have changed. Wiring instructions will never change. Once they are sent out from a title company, they're set in stone. It's the same account numbers, same wiring instructions, and they will never change. So that's where clients are getting confused. So make sure that we're bringing that up to them again at these checkpoints. If anything seems suspicious, just have a client get in touch with us right away and not to open it as well. So then best practices around this, once you receive a set of wiring instructions, have your clients call the title company to verify the instructions that they just received. Again, you're going to remind them during the listing and buyer consultations, but more importantly, I think during the contract to close period, that week out before our clients are getting ready to send in closing funds, make sure that we're reminding them that you're going to receive your wiring instructions. Make sure to call that source and verify. And then to help us protect our clients further, we need to make sure that we've got two-factor authentication set up on all of our emails. I do have a slide here for the direction. After this, Charlie's going to send out a email to the group, and we've got the specific instructions on how to set this up within that email. And then again, just changing your email password twice a year. This is all simple stuff. So again, we just have to be hyper vigilant for our clients. This is a lot of money passing. All right, so then here are those instructions. Again, this is going to go out in an email. We don't expect you to jot this down right now, but please make sure that you're reading your email after the meeting. And then I wanted to really quickly touch on this again. We're going to be probably reminding the group now weekly going forward. I don't have the slide in here right now, but we reminded the group last week about continuing education. Make sure that we are getting our classes in. We'll do that through the wra.org. We'll send out another reminder to our emails as well, with where to go on continuing education. But it is due this year by December 14th. Then, of course, the compliance helpline, please make sure that you are calling or texting. Actually, we prefer text. So we're kind of worked out the kinks with that, and we love getting texts, so then we can coordinate on when we can call you back immediately. So that's that. That's all I got.
Sweet. Guys, I want to reiterate a couple things for you. One, it is not every day your clients are wiring money. Remember that. We deal with it every day because of the business that we're in. You have to remind your clients, call to verify, call to verify, call to verify. If something looks off, it's probably off. Okay. The second piece of it, whether you're using the KW email, a different email, you use Outlook, whatever it might be, everything has two-factor authentication on or has access to it. You need to turn it on. You do not want to be the person whose email gets impersonated or hacked, and then your clients lose $75,000 because they associate it to you. Protect your integrity, protect your identity, protect your reputation. Very simple steps we can be doing to protecting ourselves. And it's unfortunate, but the rate of incidence of these has picked up dramatically. Yeah, Jay.
I mean, a lot of us use Focus.
Yeah.
Right? If someone at Focus Title would do a short video because clients watch and read.
Sure.
Because I always say nothing's going to come from me. So then they do call and say, well, I got this email, this a video from Focus. This is the website we use. This is the process. This is the phone number to call. Your agent is never like that video given when we first get an accepted offer and then leading in closer to would be helpful.
Yeah, the recommendation Jay made was a video from title companies. They use Focus explaining here's the phone number, here's the third-party site, here's what you can expect from a wire perspective. Again, verify, call to verify, call to verify. Cool. Thanks for the recommendation. I'll make sure Sherry Hippenbecker is on that for us. All right. With that, I'm flipping it over to Linz. What do these guys need to know, Linz, about AI and trust?
All right, good morning, everybody. So I wanted to build on something that Jason Abrams shared with us last month, and then show you a very simple strategy that you can start using today. So he had talked about 3 types of trust signals. So large language models like ChatGPT, Gemini will surface you to people when you send enough trust signals to the large language model that you're using, so it believes you're a trusted authority. So those 3 types to focus on are technical, content, and community. Now, the technical trust signals is the packaging. It's the structure of your content so that AI can find it. That includes your website site structure, mobile friendliness, user protection, security, like we just talked about, speed, accessibility, and then you have content trust signals, which is the content fuel. So you want to write content so that AI can read it. This is things such as menus, titles, web pages, your name, your office address, your phone number. It's the words and the content formatting. It's multimedia, and it's your voice and your tone. And then you have community trust signals. So this is the validation check. This is linking content so that AI can follow it, such as high quality backlinks, brand mentions, reviews, and social media. So there was one other thing too. So he kind of talked about 5 things that you can do to surface on AI. So it's keeping your name, your office address, and your phone number identical everywhere that you can find it online. It's having a consistent brand and bio. So no salacious claims. You want to cite sources and make it personal. It's your client, your reviews, testimonials, case studies. You want to respond to all of those client reviews, whether it's on your Google business page, Facebook, Zillow. And then he made the suggestion of embedding and copy and pasting those reviews into your website and other pages where helpful. It's FAQs, it's videos. So I wanted to touch on, because I know a lot of you had kind of asked questions on, okay, where can I grab my client testimonials and paste them into my bio so that it shows up on my command website. And so I wanted to walk through that very simple step today because it takes under 5 minutes. And these are things that you can start implementing today. So again, posting your client testimonials to your agent bio in command. It's going to feed to your agent website immediately. So that's going to help with AI understanding your credibility and connecting you to relevant search terms, building trust and increasing the chance that consumers choose you. So all you're going to do is log into command, navigate to the website's applet, which is the very last applet on the left-hand side, click on manage settings, click on agent profile and scroll down to your bio. You're going to copy and paste 2 to 3 client testimonials, whether that's from your Google business page, Zillow, Facebook, maybe a client emailed you. Paste those in there, save your profile, and you're done. Those are going to feed within a couple of minutes to your agent website. So something that you can do immediately today, takes under 5 minutes, and it helps with those large language models to help find you and surface on AI. So if anyone has questions, reach out. Happy to help you with getting this done. Just wanted to share a couple other resources today. So there is a new playlist on the Keller Williams YouTube channel called AI Advantage for Real Estate Agents. And so this is going to explore practical conversations about how AI is being used in real estate today. Industry professionals are going to discuss some AI tools, emerging trends, and ways that agents can incorporate technology into their businesses. So whether you're new to AI or just curious about its potential applications, it offers insights and ideas to help you stay informed as the industry continues to evolve. So these videos are like around 10 minutes, so they're short and sweet and action-packed. So check out that playlist today. And then we are also coming out with new videos specifically on how you can use our KW Milwaukee Marketing Concierge materials together with Command's tools. So whether it's sending out a direct mail campaign in Command using our 12 direct mail templates that our marketing concierge puts together, or it's uploading images for an email design, sending out smart plans. So we're going to put these videos together, really quick tutorials on how you can do a lot of these things using our marketing materials and then implementing a Command's tools as well. So new videos are going to get released every single week. So Command Your Marketing, that's just a new playlist that you'll see on our Keller Williams Milwaukee YouTube channel. And so we've got a couple of those videos up and running today. And I think that's it. Just a reminder, download the KW MKE app. There's also a desktop browser version that you can bookmark to your computer as well. So highly recommend doing both of those. That's it.
Sweet. On that same realm, wanted to highlight something in the spirit of our YouTube channel. Lots of content on there. Actually, I was just looking at it yesterday. Here's what I'd share with you. There's 602 videos on from a content perspective. We have 993 subscribers. It's not necessarily about the numbers as it is the sheer volume of information that's available to you that we have been putting out. The other thing I'd share with you is we've been deploying a very similar strategy that we've been talking to you guys about in terms of the AI long language learning models. And we've been updating all our descriptions so they're searchable and findable from an AI perspective. When you drop it in, you want to find a certain video. The other thing that we've done is we've now started timestamping all of our videos or content. So if you want to go in, this is example from last week's team meeting, and you want to go look at the mortgage market update that John Ola provided or the organizational overview that I provided, you can click right into the timestamps to watch that portion of the video as a playback. But these are things that we're is we've talked about a lot of change and transition, how we're trying to implement and where our content lives for you, specific to what we're doing here in Milwaukee. Make sense? All right. From a training education perspective, today at the Southwest Market Center, there's a lunch and learn with America's Home Shield. So feel free to jump into the Southwest Market Center if you utilize HSA. Ignite is going on. Charlie Walker will be doing social media tomorrow at 9 a.m. in the New Berlin office. If you want to learn about what it is and how Charlie creates content, feel free to join that on the 29th. And on Thursday, Willis and Lindsey will be running the AI workshop at the Suvari Conference Center. And then Steph will be running it out from an Ignite perspective on the art of competitive offers next week. At the AI workshop, what can you expect? How do you build your AI teammate? How do you attract and automate and convert? And how do you create agentic browsing? This is a working session. We've had a lot of content in theory around what it is that you need to do in order to adopt AI. This is how do you implement it within your business. And Willis and Lindsey have built a syllabus and a structure for the content that they will be going over on Thursday from 9 to noon at the Suvari Conference Center. So come with your laptops, come with your iPads, and we're going to help you implement and showcase the tools in action as to how you can utilize this for your business. The training calendar, as a reminder, is available to you via the Google Calendar or the MKE app. Feel free to scan the QR code to get started and allow it to automatically pop up on your calendars moving forward. All right. Last week, I gave you guys a quick organizational overview about where we are and where we're headed and how we're thinking about how we support you and providing you the opportunities to enhance your success. I talked about our internal and external flywheel, how we're growth focused in all things. We're in business with the whole person, which leads to productivity. Productivity is not only professional, but it's also personal. How do you grow as a person? That growth leads to market share or influence within your lives, which creates a stickiness to the retention of the business model that we're building. And it's the flywheel that we think about. I shared with you how we think about the associate's journey with us. There's a new agent, an experienced agent, and a top agent. And each of those agents are not unique. Sorry, their experiences with us are unique. And my point being is we segment the agent because the needs of those agents are different based on where you are on your journey. And our job is to be able to deliver these things to you by building out. And then this is a local team. This is what we want to be known for that I shared with you last week as it relates to our 135 and how we want to cultivate an exceptional reputation as a brokerage and a brand, how we think about the associate experience and how we engage our communities. And then I shared with you a little bit of a restructuring that we went through and how we're thinking about the organizational evolution to our ecosystem and how we're putting people in specialist defined roles and responsibilities and less in generalist ways. And I utilize the example that people are serving you 365 days a year that might not sit in the location where you go to on a regular basis. As a team, we have identified where it is that people's strengths are so that we are maximizing those strengths to enhance your experience, despite where it is that they might sit. And I utilized the example last week of Willis sitting in innovation, but he does a lot of things that touch all of us in all of our locations. So just wanted to share with you that overview of that strategy. All right. Jumping in from a markets insights perspective, I want to share with you two things, and I want to go into a little bit of modeling and a little bit of a mindset. Okay. Here is the latest new units to market on a weekly basis. Okay. Interestingly to note, the week after 4th of July was the highest number of new listings that came to the market in southeastern Wisconsin in 2026. There were 768. Over the latest 24 weeks, which is a 6-month time period, the average listings that came to market was 621. If you follow the successive 2 weeks, we were either at or above the latest 6-month average on a new listings basis, which gets to my point where lots of inventory is coming to the market, lots of deal activity to be had. Do not think that we are in this summer slide yet. We might have hit the apex of the market, but it does not mean that all of a sudden that this thing has totally stopped. The other thing I would share with you, and this is more of a healthy perspective as it relates to both the listing side and the buyer side, is this. This is total inventory on a weekly basis. Last week, we have hit in 2026 the peak of 5,830 units on the market. Here's the reason why this is important. As a listing agent, you have to right-size expectations of your clients because their competitive set has gotten more competitive because there's more inventory on the market than there had been at any point in 2026. And on the buy side, the positive side of this is where wind can be put in buyers' sails who might have been lost out on a few deals and thinking about not engaging in the market is there's more inventory available than there has been at any point in 2026. My point to you is deals are there to be had. Take advantage of those deals. Now, here's where I want to challenge you on your business. And there was a question I've posed to this group before as it relates to how you think about where you are and where you want to go. And there's two models I want to share with you that I have shared with you in the past, but I want to revisit them. Everyone has desires. Everyone desires to achieve something extraordinary. And there's something you have to think about as it relates to your desires. What, in terms of what is my knowledge and how do I need to achieve that? For example, I met with someone last week. They work at an average price point of $300,000. The market average in southeastern Wisconsin right now is $411,000. They're operating at a price point that is 27% lower than the market average. They desire to increase their price point. My question to them is what knowledge, your database, your sphere of influence do you need to change in order to increase your average price point? And where do we need to think about the what? Okay. 2, how? How do I do it? What do I need to implement? What am I missing? What skill set am I missing? How do I need to sharpen my axe or how do I need to sharpen my sword? What fears might I have? The reality of the person I met with last week was there was an unconscious bias of whether they believed they were worthy of increasing their price point, working at a $300,000 when the market average was $411, is how do we understand what those fears are in order to overcome them so that they can attack it to get what it is that they deserve. And when you think about that from a fear perspective is what is rational and what is irrational. The reason I'm challenging you with this is part of this is one, there's still a lot left of the year to be done. And we have to identify what are our desires, what do we need to accomplish, how are we going to do it, and what fears are getting in the way so that we can remove those obstacles. The way you overcome it is through creating exposure therapy, because the more you do something, the less you are to become, whether it's fear, rationally or irrationally. The second model I'd share with you as it relates to how we're sitting here in July is this. What is your brand and what is your brand's promise? You have to understand it better than anyone else and you have to live it every day because as I shared with you in January, you have to attack every day like today is day one. I think at times our relationship with our brand and our brand's identity ebbs and flows. Data, what are we looking at from a data perspective? How is it integrated into all aspects of our business and how do you embrace it? What are the vital signs of your business? How are you understanding what your performance is, who your consumer is, and how you're identifying what your trends are? Most of you, this is the biggest gap you have. You do deals, but you don't analyze the data to understand where it is that you need to make course corrections. How are you utilizing AI to accelerate trends, insights, and strategies? And your marketing mediums is social or traditional. Where and how does your brand live? And what intensity and frequency are you communicating your brand's promise to the world of those that you wish to attract? Things you think about during business planning, but things you don't think about in the middle of the heat of the market of the moment. My challenge to you is get really ingrained with this element of how you model your business because you can start building to 2027 now. It just takes a few small tweaks. It just takes intentionality and purpose, being purposeful. So my question to you is, what does the top 5% producing agents do that 95% of agents don't do? That if they were doing, they would have all things they want. Here's my list. 1, the top agents set clear goals. Clear goals is not a units, X amount to pay X business expense and personal expense to make X in profit. Run your business like a business. Track your numbers. The top agents understand the amount of appointments they need in order to secure the amount of agreements they have in order that will drive the amount of closings that will derive the amount of income they desire. Time block, here's the truth. Everyone, time block is a very catchy phrase, yet no one really truly understands we all have the same amount of time in the day. The only difference between you and I or anybody else is the utilization of that time and the efficiency of what we do in that time. We all have the same amount of it. Freedom comes from discipline. Okay, the top agents have very selected lead generation activities. They are specialists, they are snipers, they know exactly what they want and where to go to get it. They are not generalists. Because without predictability, you don't have survivability. And the last thing, and this is the number one reason why I think people get out of the business or why people don't get what they desire, is this. Everyone gets into this business because they desire autonomy. The reason why people don't get out of this business is they don't have the accountability to that autonomy. You have to be accountable to yourself and your business because you have to understand where it is that you are and where you're going to course correct. People love autonomy. People hate accountability. You can't get autonomy without accountability. Understand that and make small corrections. This is like you're flying a plane and you need to course correct. You're making small tweaks on your dials. You're not course correcting and all of a sudden ending up in Portugal. Okay. Lastly, I'd share with you this. I was on a coaching call last week, Thursday, with a gentleman who's coached me for 10 plus years. I owe a ton of success to him. And one of the things he said to me at this point in July, and I was trying to figure out where I am in the year, where I'm going, how I'm showing up, what my energy was. He shared with me this: change your attitude and energy level and watch your entire world change around you because the people desire to be in your presence. If you change your attitude and energy, watch your world change because people desire to be in your presence. But it can only happen with intentionality and effort, which got me thinking, where might this show up? And I've shared this with you before, but I thought it was good and I pulled it back. A lot of us have seen the show Ted Lasso. If you haven't, don't worry. I'm going to tell you why you should watch it. Okay. 60 Minutes. You know, I'm a big 60 Minutes fan. I know it's like me reading a newspaper every morning. It's one of those things that makes me older than I am, but it is what it is. There was a great article from Forbes that Don Yeager wrote. Don Yeager is an exceptional author. He's wrote a ton of books, but it talks about how Ted Lasso's great leadership travels. And here's what I would share with you. In Don's article in Forbes, he talked about the parallels of John Wooden and Ted Lasso. And he said this about both of them. Creating the essence and presence of a great leader combines these four elements. They light up the space they occupy. They are not selfish or egocentric. They infuse others with their energy, purposefulness, and generosity. And they are realistic and optimistic. Don't sugarcoat it because don't sugarcoat challenges, nor do they second guess themselves. The power of optimism is what drives their decision to pursue their challenges. If you've seen the show Ted Lasso, it's the power of positivity and the power of optimism, because as the leader goes, so does the team. Lead with abundance. It's amazing what you put out into the world, what you will get from the world, because there's ample opportunity to fail, learn, and from failure to succeed. So, as I was challenged last week, Thursday, I would leave you with this. Change your attitude and energy level and watch your entire world around you change because people desire to be in your presence. You have an unbelievable opportunity. We are absolutely in an incredible market. You have so much left to continue to earn and achieve, and it only takes small tweaks, but you have to be intentional and realistic about those tweaks in order for you to get what you desire. Sound good? I told you it'd be quick. It's 9:35. Reminder, no team meeting next week. I'm doing a little midsummer break. And for that, guys, it's a beautiful day in Milwaukee. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it.